What's up, everybody, and good morning. Welcome back to yet another workout. Today we're going to focus on your midsection movements. We're going to do all abs all the time, the whole thing, start to finish. But the one difference that I want to add in is I actually want to do a warm-up approach to your midsection movements that we have not done to date. Typically what we do, since it is just a ab movement, we just kind of jump right into it, giving you the freedom to do it after the workout. Now let's say that this is the only workout or movement of the day. I want to make sure that you are warmed up to account for the load that you are putting on your midsection. So I'm going to do this a little bit different. We're going to do 10 repetitions for everything. I have a light dumbbell, a medium dumbbell, and then I have one medicine ball. Now that's not anything different. We're going to do 6 straight supersets, and then it's up to you if you want to do another rotation or a third rotation or a fourth rotation. Now what you choose to do after the first time through depends on whether it's before a workout, after a workout, during your workout, or its own workout. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I have my mat out, even though I'm on the turf. You can have your mat, you can have a towel, you can be on a carpet, whatever you feel you need for comfort, but there are going to be a couple of exercises where you're not going to want to use that mat. So let's get set up as if we're going to do crunches, because we eventually will, but what we're going to start out with is going to be a lower trunk torso rotation. So I'm getting set up like I'm going to do a crunch, but instead of my feet being apart, they're actually going to be together. So heel to heel, ankle to ankle, and I'm just going to rotate and drop them to the side. Now when we do our hip mobilities, this is going to be the precursor to that reverse scorpion kick. And the reason we want to do it on your ab day is because it is a torso rotation. And then you're going to bring it up and over to the other side. And all I'm kind of doing is easing into it, taking a couple inhales, couple exhales. And as I exhale, I'm actually going to turn and reach away, just like when we do our hip mobilities. And I'm going to do a couple more here. And all again, we're trying to stretch out, loosen up the hips, trying to stretch out, loosen up the torso, because all of these movements and joints are going to come into play when we do our ab movements. Okay, second exercise here, it's going to be the same darn thing, lower trunk torso rotation, but our feet are going to be up. So now there's going to be a little bit of tension on that midsection, and then we're going to add in that rotation. So whatever you're going to do for balance, maybe your hands are down, maybe the elbows are down, but whatever you want to do, however you have to do it, have the feet off the ground. Now when I get here, my feet and my knees are as close to the ground as possible, but when I come up and over and change directions, they're off the ground. Then I'm going to take them to the ground and adjust. Big inhale, big exhale, and try to turn away. I'm going to go one more apiece. And again, this is just literally a warm-up, so this does not need to be anything crazy. Last one, for me, it's going to the left. All right, so last one here, we're just doing a little bit of a warm-up. I'm going to take my right foot, right ankle, right heel, put it on my left thigh. Now, if you want to have that foot up, that's one stretch. But what we're going to do is we're going to take that right leg, right foot on the left thigh, and again, we're going to rotate. Now, what this is doing is specifically targeting, yes, the torso, because it's a torso rotation, but more so that right side, right hip, right glute. So when the glutes come into play for the midsection movements, they're already warmed up. Now I'm going to stay on that side so I don't have to reset and set up again on the other side. What I could do is take that right knee to the floor if I wanted a full range of motion. Personal preference on that one, I know I'm going to get that way when I go to the other side. So I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to go foot to floor, reset back to the beginning. Foot to floor, and my upper body is going to try and stay squared up to the ceiling even though my lower half is turning. If I were to turn with it, I would be defeating the purpose of doing a rotation. So I'm going to have this one be my last one before I switch. Then I'm going to switch my feet. So now my left foot, heel, ankle is going to be up on my right thigh. And I'm going to do the same thing, but the other side. Now remember, we've talked about this before. You might have one side that feels better, worse, tighter, stronger, looser than the other. So if that's the case, take your time with it. I know for me, this side tends to be a little bit tighter. So I'm going to reset. I'm just going to kind of load up.
and do it again. Now let's say you have a hard time. You could, my shoes have a little strap here at the heel to hold it so that it doesn't scoot away from me. You can do that. Reset. Upper body stays squared up to the ceiling, shoulders flat on the back, and my left arm, because I'm rotating to my right, I just want to keep that out. If I have my left arm up, my left shoulder's coming up. So I'm not turning and looking away, although you can. I just keep my arm out. This will be my last one here. Okay. All right, so let's get it going. Like I said in the intro, we're going to do 6 supersets. Okay? Some of them is going to be 2 separate exercises, and only the last one is going to be a right side and a left side by itself. That'll make more sense when we get there. All right, so let's set it up. We're going to start off with regular basic plain Jane's entry level crunches for 10. All right, so your feet can be down because we're doing basic ones. Don't worry, we will progress. Now what you can change is your hand placement. All right, so I'm going to go hand behind the head, but my eyes are up. 10 repetitions in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I want to do is make sure I exhale at the top. There's going to be my 10. All right, same crunches, but oblique crunches. So I'm going to keep my shoulders squared up just like we did in that lower trunk torso rotation warm up. Legs off to the side and crunch for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now since we have 2 sides, surprise, surprise, we're going to switch sides. So now my legs are off to the left, so my left hand is behind my head. Your right hand, you can do whatever you want to do. I like to put my hands on the lats, on the obliques, on the side of the stomach, to kind of make that mind to muscle connection of activating or squeezing my stomach. All right, 10 repetitions on the oblique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and break and shake. All right, that's rotation number 1. Now you can pause and you can keep going and do another set, a 3rd set, a 4th set, a millionth set, doesn't matter. Or at the end, start back to the beginning, okay? Now our second superset is going to be crunches and oblique crunches again, but our feet are up off the ground. So it's going to change the load, it's going to change the feel of the movement. But down to its basic, most simplest form, it's the same darn thing. So get set up, hands across the chest, hands at your side. However you did it before, but get the feet up. My crunches stay the same, 10 repetitions. 3, 2, 1, and go. And exhale. So if you're counting repetitions, every time you crunch and squeeze, 8, 9, 10. That's when you breathe. That's when you exhale. All right, here's going to be our first variation in our oblique series. So same setup, same idea, but instead of the feet staying down, that top foot, top leg, top knee is coming up. So your setup is going to be the same. My legs are off to the right, so my right hand is behind my head. Left hand can do whatever the heck you want it to do. But as you crunch up, lift that leg. Now let's fast forward a little bit, and man, I'm doing good. I'm doing real good, actually. Put that hand down. Instead of the right hand being behind your head, put the right hand down. Crunch both legs. Okay, so either top leg or both legs. Top leg, your hand is up. Both legs, your hand is down. 10 repetitions in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's go and flip it over. I'll flip it around so I'm facing you guys. But same thing, 10 repetitions on your oblique. So now my legs are to the left. That means my left hand is going to be up unless you're doing the double leg lift. 3, 2, 1, and go. 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. Break and shake. Again, pause it, do it again, or wait to the very end and start it back over. All right, so here's going to be our first superset where we bring in some of this weight. I'm going to start for this one with the lightest weight because I want a smooth, controlled range of motion. Plus, it's going to be a little bit overhead, so I don't want anything crazy on the shoulder. Okay, so we're going to do what's called a pullover toe touch, or a one-sided V-sit, or whatever you want to call it, but you're holding the dumbbell. So we're back to getting set up just like we do with our crunches. Feet are bent, knees are bent, feet are flat. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go left dumbbell, left hand holding the dumbbell. Right leg is gonna be my working leg. My left leg is going to be the one that doesn't do anything. So my right arm and left leg don't do anything. My left arm and right leg are doing the crunch. So I'm going to do a pull over, toe touch, or pull over, V-sit. However high you go, try to make sure that the leg stays straight. This doesn't do anything, okay? So let's do it. We got 10 reps aside in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch legs, switch sides. Now there are a couple of variations you can do to add to this. The easiest thing is always to increase your rep count or increase your weight in which you do those reps. The other thing you could do in this particular exercise, instead of bringing the hand to the shin, to the knee, to the toe, to the ankle, go outside. Your range of motion is potentially bigger, as well as there's more of a rotation. All right, here we go. Second side, same thing. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now we're gonna put that down. Now that exercise is going to be the first exercise that we're doing where it's taking the crunching component and the turning oblique, or the twisting and rotating component that we get where we're addressing our obliques, like our Russian twists. All right, so now we're going to do our second exercise, and it's going to be, you're going to go dumbbell pull, oblique V-sit. Okay, so now this is going to be, we'll do a second set and I'll show you how to use the ball, but for now we'll just do the body weight. So you're gonna get set up again like you're doing those oblique crunches, but instead of your legs being bent, you're gonna go straight. Now when you get set up like this, you're gonna be on the side of your butt or your hips. When you go straight leg, rock back just a little bit so you're not on your hips. All right, so I'm on my right side, so my right arm is down. My left arm can do whatever I want it to, but I'm gonna try and reach for my legs. I'm gonna do a single leg, or in a perfect world, strong world, we're going both legs. Okay, so we have an oblique V-sit. We're gonna go 10 repetitions in 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, oblique V-sit, I'm gonna switch it around so I'm facing you guys, but it's the same movement, okay? But now that I'm on my left side, and get set up like you're doing your oblique crunches, straighten out the leg, rock back on the butt, not the hip. Now I'm on my left side, my left hand is down, my right hand is up. Okay, we got 10 repetitions. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, same thing, same option. Hit pause, do it again, or come back to it once we're done with our rotation. All right, so now we are going to bring in our medicine ball, but I wanted to show you a quick variation before we get away from all the obliques. Now we're still going to be hitting the obliques, just not that very specific oblique crunch. So let's go back to the beginning where we did our oblique crunches. Knees were bent, feet were flat. There's not very much tension. There's not a lot of load. So maybe the 10 repetitions that we're doing needs to be 110. It's possible. Let's say you wanted to add in an external weight. The easiest thing to do would be to grab a dumbbell. But if you really wanted to double dip and have that external weight and work shoulder stability at the same time, that's where the medicine ball comes into play. You would literally just hold that medicine ball up, and it's going to want to move and it's going to want to shake, especially when you start crunching. So the easy thing to do would be just to grab a weight, do your crunches, but it's going to want to move, so you got to stabilize. That's a great way to double dip on stability and mobility, or stability and core. Okay, so you have that option. But our next rotation, we're gonna stick with just the obliques, just the torso rotation component. Okay, so you're still gonna engage your abs. We're not getting away from that, but we're just doing it a little bit different. We're gonna start with Russian twist. Now we've done Russian twist 7,000 times. Remember, you're not going to buckle the back. If you lean back because you want your feet up because you feel like that's better for you, just make sure you sit up tall. So one thing that I always recommend is have your feet on the floor. Okay, we already have additional weight. Have your feet on the floor and focus on the feel, focus on the form. Sit up nice and tall and just rotate more. Okay, so let's do it to it. We're gonna go Russian twists, 10 a side. So it's a bigger set maybe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 10. Okay, now that is a torso rotation in its purest form. You are literally turning and twisting at the torso. Very, very simple. Now if you don't have the right weight via medicine ball, hold the dumbbell. If you're not ready for additional weight, you just want to rotate, do just the body weight. If you're rotating to the right, lean and touch and rotate with the left hand. That's fine. Maximize your range of motion and your control and add your repetitions. Then back it down and add weight. All right, let's do this. The superset, because remember we're focusing on our obliques now, is going to be an oblique squeeze or an isometric for the obliques. We're doing a side plank. Now here's our basic version, okay? On the elbow, so you have your hand, you have your elbow, and you have your feet. You have 3 points of contact, okay? So you're somewhere in the middle as far as balance goes. And then we lift. Let's say you're a little bit wonky. Top foot in front, stagger your stance. You still have your foot, or you still have your hand, your elbow, but now you got 2 points of contact with the feet. If you need yet another, that top hand can go here. So you can make it as difficult or as easy as you want. Okay, we're gonna go for 30 seconds. I'm gonna go elbow and feet stacked, top hand up. In 3, 2, 1, and go. Now one thing to think about is we're trying to be a straight line. No dip in the hip, no hip hike. If we do that, we're doing it differently. We're just doing a different option. Right now we want this just to be a straight line, tight squeeze. I want you also to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the butt, and bring your hips forward as much as possible. I don't want to see this, okay? Nice and tight in the tummy. Obviously the obliques, but big time in the butt, okay? We got, shoot, that was 30 seconds, beautiful. Time flies when you're having fun. Now I'm just gonna switch it so I'm facing you guys so I can use the clock, but it's gonna be the same darn exercise, okay? Feet stacked or staggered, okay, depending on what your comfort level is. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And I didn't do it last set, but I'm gonna go up. Giving me a point of contact. or I'm sorry, a point of focus on the ceiling. So if I start to move or wiggle, one, I should be able to feel that, but two, I'll be able to see that and know how to adjust. Okay, keeping the hips high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Now, one thing you can do on those side plank variations, if you wanted to, again, add in or work in a stability component, instead of the elbows where you are super balanced and stable and strong, do that same darn exercise, but come up on your hand. So now your shoulders and your arms got to come into play to stabilize. So you can do that. Let's say you need more stability. The elbow just wasn't enough and the feet stacked, wasn't enough. Let's do this. Let's go on the elbow, but that bottom knee is on the floor. So now the distance between my points of contact is a little bit smaller. Therefore, you're a little bit stronger. All right, so here's going to be one where I'm not really going to need the mat, but I'll use it on my second exercise. So we've done this one before. Here's where that medium weighted dumbbell comes into play. So I'm going to just move my mat out of the way. I'll use it for my bicycles. But the first exercise is going to be what's called a plank and pull. Now again, we've done this before. If you've missed it, I'll show you. But I'm going to be in the push-up or plank position. My hands are going to be underneath my elbows and my elbows are going to be underneath my shoulders. Just like you do a regular high plank, just like you do your push-ups. Okay? My feet are going to be a little bit wider. Okay, just from a balance standpoint, and you're going to be rotating too. Okay, so it just gives you a little bit more stability, a wider base. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that dumbbell on my left side and my left hand in front of it. Now here's the plank, and then, let me get this out of the way, and then the pull portion is you pull across. Now the dumbbell is sitting pretty behind my right hand. Now I pull across. Now it's in my left hand. Okay, so we're going to do a plank and pull. We're going to do 10 repetitions apiece. All right, let's do it to it. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 1, 2, 2. Now you want to make sure you don't rotate, dip, and rock and cheat and move all around. Stay steady, stay square. Tighten up the tummy, squeeze the backside. Let's see, that's 5 and 5 because I forgot to count. 6 and 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 10. Now remember, to make things difficult, it's very, very easy to add a lot of repetitions. It's very, very easy to add weight. Those are very, very, very easy ways, common ways to make an exercise more challenging. But remember, you want it to be difficult, yes, because if it doesn't challenge, it doesn't change. I've said that before, we got it on a shirt. But you also need it to be doable, okay? So for this particular exercise, heavy weight, something's gonna give. This is not an exercise where you wanna do a ton of weight. So what you could do is increase your range of motion. For instance, left hand, the dumbbells on the left side, instead of just pulling it to the right side, right hand, let's say I increase my range of motion and I pull that sucker all the way out as far as I possibly can. When I reset, my right hand's gotta go get it. I got a long way to go. So I have to rotate, reach, grab, pull. I have a huge range of motion. Huge range of motion, a beautiful range of motion. So that one in that particular exercise is going to be a good option. All right, nothing fancy about the superset. The superset is going to be the bicycle. All right, so we're going to go 10 repetitions apiece. Remember, keep those elbows out wide so that the body has to rotate. Bringing the elbows in is cheating. Okay, here we go. We're going to go 10 apiece. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, and exaggerate it. 2, and exaggerate it. 3, exaggerate. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. That's 5 apiece. 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I did that 2 different ways, but I didn't count it out. Didn't call it out because I was trying to count. On the bicycles or any exercise where your legs are out in front of you and off the ground, your hip flexors are going to come into play, especially if there's some movement with the legs, meaning bringing the knees in, okay? If there's discomfort or weakness or just it doesn't feel really good, go higher. The lower you go to the flow, the harder it's going to be on the hip flexor, okay? So manipulate your height, and then you could offset some of that discomfort or popping or pulling or strain. All right, we have one more. Now this is gonna be the one superset where I was telling you it's one exercise, but it's a right side and a left side. This is the one exercise that I was saying your mat probably, unless you're on like tile floor, your mat probably would not be the best, okay? So I'm gonna go straight on the turf because I need a grip, okay? So we've done this before where we've done the downward dogs, okay? And at the very, very beginning of the workout, we did those pull-over toe touches. We're gonna fuse those together. So we're gonna get into that push-up position, the plank position, with our feet a little bit on the wide side, just like we did the plank and pull, just like we did there. Okay, now I'm gonna show you straight on, squared up, so you can see kind of what it looks like head on. And you're gonna do a plank and toe touch, or a plank and one arm downward dog. So my feet are a little bit wider, my hands are normal. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna throw the hips in the air, and I'm gonna reach back. Right hand towards the left foot. Reset. Left hand towards the right foot. Reset. Okay, if I'm going to give you a visual over here, it's going to be this guy. Plank position, push-up position, right hand, left foot. Now if you want to bend the legs, bend the legs. Reset. Reset. Okay, we're going to go 10 repetitions a piece. The slower you go, the more fun you're going to have. But the faster you go, you'll get done with it faster, but there's more room for movement and a possibility of shifting too much and not being able to adjust. So steady Eddie, not fast, not slow, just somewhere in the middle. Basically, just be perfect. That's it. All right, ladies and gents, let's rock it out. We got our last set in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, reset, 1, reset, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10. One more time. And 10. Fantastic. All right, here comes the decision time. Okay, you can either go back to the beginning and do it again, option number 1. Option number 2, go into your regularly planned and scheduled workout. Maybe that's cardio, maybe that's weights, doesn't matter what it is. Number 3, go into your mobilities after this. Okay, that's a great option. The ab rotation is a little bit lower impact, less output, less demand. So maybe today's a mobility day. Does not matter. This rotation can be done whenever. But if you have any questions or want to see other ab exercises, or if you had difficulties with some of these and need to see a variation/modification, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys again for another workout.